Welcome to the RadioU podcast. Coming up, why you probably shouldn't give yourself a rubber band facelift.
Also, Sabrina Carpenter doesn't need to say, please, please, please don't shoot me in Fortnite.
All that and more on the way next. Earlier this week, the new season of Fortnite kicked off. The big headline change was players can now play as Sabrina Carpenter. Mm-hmm. If you don't know what Sabrina Carpenter looks like, she's like if Bugs Bunny was trying to seduce Elmer Fudd.
That is a very apt description.
That is Sabrina Carpenter.
She's basically a blonde Betty Boop.
Yeah, that's right. She is a singer, but she's now, she's headlining Fortnite Festival in the game. And so she's in the game. Little did the people who came up with the idea to put Sabrina Carpenter in the game realize that would break the game. And it's not that it's causing glitches or anything. It is that players that are Sabrina Carpenter in the game are refusing to shoot each other and instead are syncing up the emotes and doing dance parties, which there's videos of, which is quite fun.
I mean, it looks pretty neat. I didn't even know, I don't play Fortnite, but I didn't even know that you could do that. That's a new feature, I guess, where you can emote together is what they call it. Uh-huh. And they have like the please, please, please emote and the taste emote. So those are like dances that Sabrina does, I guess. Yeah. And they're all doing them together and it's in sync. It looks pretty mesmerizing, I gotta say. Yeah, and so Fortnite,
I guess they did know that it would break the game because it's literally a rule. You can get banned for a few days up to permanently if you refuse to shoot people in the game.
Right. If you team up with other players, I think that's the bigger deal.
If you're intentionally not playing the game it's meant to be played, as in when you're doing Battle Royale, you're supposed to kill other people so you can win. Yeah. But if you're working together with other people and you're not playing duos or trios or whatever they call it, you can get kicked out. Mm-hmm. But then they introduced the emote together thing and Sabrina Carpenter people are emoting together and not shooting each other.
Right. That's the thing is it's like it feels like you're talking out of both sides of your mouth if you're going to be like, yeah, you can emote together now, but you're supposed to kill everybody. So it's like, what do you want us to do? And, you introduce this character with some pretty fun dances in the game. People are going to do that.
Can I be honest? Earlier this week, we talked about the Sabrina Carpenter thing and it'd be like, how weird would it be for me if I played to be Sabrina Carpenter?
Right.
And at first I was like, it'd be pretty weird. But seeing the dances, I'm like, I kind of want to play as Sabrina Carpenter.
It looks to me like everybody's playing with Sabrina Carpenter.
Yeah, so skins. I wouldn't have to feel bad.
Yeah, I don't think you need to worry.
I haven't played since the new season started, but maybe today. Maybe today is the day. and if people are going to not shoot me because I'm dressed like Sabrina Carpenter, that can only be helpful to me.
Right.
And I have no problem stabbing them in the back. We start emoting together and I use that as my opportunity because otherwise I'm not as good as them.
Right. Also, what a compliment to Sabrina Carpenter. No one wants to kill her. Yeah, that's great.
Seriously. I don't know if you saw these comments from Shopify's CEO recently. They basically said that no more new hires unless you can prove that AI can't do that job.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I hope this is not an attitude that will spread to RadioU.
Oh, no.
But preemptively, I thought that we should probably try to prove that AI couldn't do our job.
Okay.
And so there's no denying if we put our voices in, like there's tools you can use. AI could recreate our voices.
Yes, it can.
But can it recreate our wit, charm, and humor?
I say no.
That's what we're about to find out because I have fed ChatGPT some of our breaks, our material from the show. Okay. And asked ChatGPT to write a segment for us.
Oh, no.
And so, Allie, you have the script ready?
I do.
Here we go. This is ChatGPT wrote this for us. Intro music fades out. Okay, Allie, we've reached a new low, or maybe a new carb high.
Oh no, what happened now? Is it another food recall? Another cereal flavored candle?
Worse! Apparently, actual humans, are walking around with what they call emotional support baguettes.
Emotional support baguettes? Please tell me this isn't those emotional support peacocks people tried to bring on planes.
No animals this time, just bread. Literal French bread. People are carrying them around like a comfort item.
Oh, okay, wait, where am I? I mean, that is comforting. Like, emotionally, I relate to bread. I'm soft, occasionally crusty, and people only appreciate me when I'm warm.
ChatGPT nailed it. Nailed it. That is something you would say. Yeah, but imagine showing up to work like, sorry, I'm late. I had to find a gluten companion for emotional balance.
Honestly, that sounds better than most self-help books. Eat, pray, Loaf.
And what happens when you get too emotional and take a bite out of your baguette buddy?
I'm sorry, I'm still trying to recover from the last slide.
Eat, pray, Loaf.
Then it becomes a trauma snack. You cry, you heal.
ChatGPT is giving you a lot of zingers.
It's something.
Can you imagine TSA at the airport now? Sir, you're going to have to check that baguette. It exceeds the carry-on softness limit. That's a thing.
Okay, yeah, I've never heard of that. Or worse, someone brings one to a meeting and halfway through a budget presentation, they're just stress tearing their bread in half.
Which honestly would make most meetings way more tolerable. I'd bring butter.
Can we start a line of emotional support carbs? Like a limited edition RadioU cinnamon roll you can cry into?
Absolutely. Or Hudson and Allie's therapeutic toast, now with extra empathy and a light crunch.
All I know is if we start carrying bread on the show, it's not for comfort. It's for food fight. Let's be real.
Facts. That's something I would say. If I'm hugging my baguette, it's only because I haven't eaten it yet. That's hunger, not healing. Outro music fades in.
Yep. So let us know, would you carry an emotional support baguette, or are you more of a donut emotional support person?
Text us at 877-2-RADIO-U and tell us, what carb would you take into battle against your feelings? And scene.
Eat, pray, loaf.
I think it wasn't half bad.
I mean, the zingers were okay, but they definitely, I feel like it's just way too much at once.
Yeah.
You know?
That's
it's like ChatGPT is always just trying too hard. It's that person that's trying too hard.
It is trying too hard. Neither of us would put that put that many jokes in.
Yeah.
Which maybe that means ChatGPT is better.
No, I don't think so.
I mean, you laughed a lot.
I did because it was ridiculous.
So, what say you? Should we be replaced by ChatGPT? Is our job replaceable by AI? 8772-RADIO-U. I think the answer to that was definitely no. That didn't sound like stuff we would
actually say.
I can't. Would you ever have said eat, pray, loaf?
No.
I mean, that's pretty good.
It's not bad. It's definitely not bad. But I also just feel like a lot of the reactions that ChatGPT comes up with, again, it's like okay, you know, technically it would be funny, but I think what's more funny is us reacting to it.
Yeah.
That's what made it funny as a segment.
That's right. Yeah. So we could have ChatGPT script segments for us as long as we laugh at them.
Right. Because
we react to
I think it'd be a lot different if we were sitting here and just like deadpan reading it like an AI robot and being really serious about it versus us just laughing about how insanely, you know, ridiculous it was.
We had no chance of doing this earnestly.
No.
Which is what ChatGPT counted on. Yes.
And so that's, I think, what makes it more funny is it's just like we're laughing at it because it's so stupid. No real human would say this stuff.
Honestly, no real human maybe, but honestly, when it made you say, emotionally, I relate to bread. I'm soft. I'm occasionally crusty, and people only appreciate me when I'm warm.
Yeah, like what
that
the
actually
heck?
is great. That is great.
But what does that even mean?
I don't know.
When I'm warm? What? Just so you know, I run cold all the time, so I guess I'm not likable at all.
I wish I would have said that because I think that's hilarious. I had to look up too. Because I was like, is the emotional support baguette, like, is that actually a news story?
Right. Is that something that's true?
And so I looked it up, and it's not that it's never been mentioned online. In fact, there's even an Etsy shop that sells emotional support baguettes.
Okay.
They're like knitted.
Yeah.
For $7.
Oh, wow. Only $7?
They've sold 2 of them.
Oh, okay.
But that's about it.
Okay.
Like, it's not actually a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm kind of disappointed.
Yeah, I mean, who wouldn't want to have an emotional support baguette?
I'd bring butter.
Yeah, apparently you would.
I think it's not a horrible idea, and I also like the emotional support cinnamon roll that you can cry into. I think I don't know. I could see that this is a tool. This is a tool that could be used, but we could not be replaced.
You cry, you chew, you heal.
You heal.
Hudson and Alley in space.
Hudson, NASA has a problem.
They do.
They have a problem.
Wait, you're saying Houston, there is a problem?
Yep, and it's a poop problem. Basically, NASA has decided to do a little competition.
Okay.
This competition is something where they are offering $3 million to anyone.
Okay, I'm interested.
Yep. Who proposes technology to solve recycling feces and other human waste in space.
So wait, all I have to do is propose something.
Yeah, but the $3 million will be awarded to you to then make it.
Okay. All right.
Do you think you can do it?
Yeah, I'm thinking right now. Some way to recycle human waste.
Yes.
In space.
In space.
Like on the moon or...
On the moon, on long distance travel missions, and also maybe potentially a lunar base if that ends up happening, which there's talks about that. Because it would be easier to leave, I guess, from the moon to get to other places. So they've been talking about maybe doing that in the future. So yeah, that's what they're looking for. This is called the Luna Recycle. So it's like Luna Recycle, but it's
a portmanteau.
Yeah.
Of Lunar
challenge.
And Recycle.
Yeah. It calls on members of the public to propose technology to recycle astronauts' feces, urine, and vomit on the moon. And during these long-haul space flights, there are currently 96 bags of human waste that have been left on the moon by the Apollo mission.
No way.
Yeah. I'm like, what?
Now that is useless knowledge.
Yeah.
All right, Allie, how about this? Let's brainstorm a little bit. I'll split the $3 million with you.
Okay.
You know more about space than me. How do we do this?
I mean, I have no idea how you would even, like, what exactly would be the end desired result for this? Because it's like recycling, but recycling to turn it into,
to turn it into what exactly?
To turn it into what? And I don't know if NASA knows what they want to turn it into. They just want to do something with it. So it's not just taking up space.
Yeah.
Yeah, it grosses me out thinking of this.
Because there's no like bacteria in space. It's not like you could like break it down like compost or something like that.
Right.
Like if you just put it in a bin, it's just going to stay there the way it is.
Yes.
Like
which
preserved.
is what's clearly happening with these 96 bags.
Yeah, because nobody's
moon.
been to the moon in what, 20, 30, 40 years?
Right. Basically, it's like been since what, the 90s, you know?
Yeah, probably. And
since
so
the last Apollo mission.
The waste is still just sitting up there, huh?
Yep.
What a way to...
As far as they know.
What a warm welcome.
Yeah.
For the next astronaut.
Here's 96 bags of waste for you.
Yeah, this is your problem now. What do we do? How do we do this?
I don't know. Clearly NASA doesn't know what to do. That's why they're, pawning this off to the public.
Okay, let's try. Can we turn it into soil? Turn it into like building material?
That's what I was kind of wondering. I was like, maybe fertilizer? Does that work? I don't know.
I don't know. You can't really grow anything up there.
Yeah, we don't know if we can or not. I know they talked about doing that.
I think building material. I seem to remember an episode of the Mythbusters.
Okay.
Where they had to turn like feces into like tools. Like, could you turn it into a knife or something? And so
into a knife.
Yeah. Or
and
like,
they did that?
The old thing, like you can't polish it.
Yeah.
And so they had to test that. And so that's what I picture. Like we turn it into some kind of building material, some kind of like we harden it.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about to get it to, of something that would be, sturdy or whatever.
Mm-hmm. So we dehydrate it.
Okay.
Is my thinking. Now the urine, I don't know. I'm lost on that. But I think that this is where I'm going.
Doesn't Bear Grylls have like the whole classic thing of, or Bear Grylls, the thing where you can like purify your urine?
I'm sure
to make it like drinkable again or whatever.
Yeah. Like
it's not a long-term solution, but it's something you can do if you're out of water.
It's not a long-term solution unless you're Patches O'Houlihan.
Hudson, I know you are absolutely so excited for today.
I am fired up. It's one of my favorite times of year.
Yes. If you didn't know, the Masters is about to tee off in about 30 minutes now? We're getting pretty close here. The first two golfers, they're starting at 7:40 exactly. So, pretty soon here they will start off. We've been talking about the Masters like off the mic for over 2 months, so long.
Because we both pay attention to golf, like even when the Masters isn't happening.
Right.
I know most people, if they pay attention at all, it's
for the Masters. Yeah.
But I've become a big golf fan. And obviously the Masters is the biggest golf event every year, and it's so exciting.
Yeah, I grew up watching golf. My dad's a golfer. I played a little bit as well. I haven't played as much because I broke my wrist in like 2022. I haven't really played since then, although I do miss it. But I always look forward to the Masters every single year. It's such a fun tournament.
Yeah.
It's one of the few that's always at the same place each year, Augusta National in Georgia. And it's just a beautiful place.
Yeah.
And I love the broadcast for it. So, I look forward to it every single year.
It's funny you say you haven't played golf in a long time. I feel like I'm the only person that watches golf that has never, ever, ever played
You've
golf.
never played? Not even like Top Golf or something?
I've literally gone to a driving range once and I've done putt-putt. But other than that, I have never played any golf. And I would be bad at it. I would be horrible. But I feel really, really bad watching golf because all the commercials are for like drivers and stuff.
Yeah.
Like this, and even the other commercials are for like prescription drugs where it's old guys playing golf.
Yeah.
And I'm like, none of this applies to me.
Or golf clothing.
Yeah, but can I still I do like the clothing.
Yes, the golf clothing, FootJoy. Oh my goodness, I love FootJoy. But yes, it's a great time to be alive for golf fans and not golf fans. But I do want to know, who do you think will win the Masters this year? Who's getting the green jacket?
Well, the name that everybody knows and that you'd be silly not to say is Scotty Scheffler.
Yes,
he's won it twice already, right? And he won last year. So I'm not gonna not say him, but also it'd be boring to pick him.
Sure. So it's hard to repeat.
Yeah. And like, I think there'd be 3 and 4 years for him if he wins.
Yeah.
Tiger didn't even do that.
Yeah.
So is he really that good? He hasn't won yet this year, I don't think. So, although he was pretty close last week.
He's been saving it for the Masters.
Yeah, that's right. He's just loading up. But it would be no fun to pick Scotty.
Okay.
So I want to say, the Canadian that I am, I have to pick Canadian Corey Connors.
I love it.
Shot.
I love that you have to go with the Canadians. I usually, because I grew up in Africa, I always follow like the African golfers, and there's always at least a few South African golfers that end up in the top 10.
Yeah.
There's one random one that you've never heard of that ends up and
Tristan Lawrence.
Exactly. Yeah. So and they always have the most Dutch name you've ever heard in your life.
Charles Schwartzel. Christian Bezuidenhout.
Yeah. Literally very Afrikaner names, but which if you don't know, Afrikaans is basically the South African version of Dutch. But
I didn't know that.
You didn't?
No, I didn't.
There's just some useless knowledge for you.
Yeah, that is useless knowledge. Well, who's your pick?
My pick, okay, so I am also going to go with a long shot pick because, like you said, Scotty Scheffler, sure, the favorite. A lot of people believe he's going to do it again. But I do think I'm going to put my weight behind Will Zalatoris.
Willie Z.
Willie Z. I love him. I one of my favorite golfers. I have a lot of favorites. Jordan Spieth, Justin Thomas, so many. But Will Zalatoris, about 5 years ago, he came out of nowhere, out of the Corn Ferry Tour, ended up getting solo second, and was, I believe, behind a Japanese golfer who ended up getting first. And that was at the Masters. And I think he's going to finish it this year. He's going to come back, unfinished business, get it done.
I would be very happy about that. Here, well, later on, we're doing first to worst, where we pick the best and worst sports events to attend.
Yeah.
I'll say, well, I have a lot of good arguments for the Masters.
Yes.
And I might pick that.
Okay.
But one of the things I will say I love is with golf, it's rare to me anyways, even though there's golfers I prefer over others, it's just fun at the end. Like, you just feel happy watching somebody win, no matter who it is.
I'm never upset with who the winner is.
Yeah. So I can't wait.
Yes.
I can't not wait. I don't know, Allie, if this is something that you would ever do. I feel like it's not, but there's a trend going on where people another health trend, a beauty trend on TikTok, people giving themselves facelifts with rubber bands.
No.
Literally using office supplies to try to do cosmetic surgery on yourself.
No.
The idea is you wrap rubber bands around your ears, and that's supposed to tighten the skin on your face and give you a facelift. It looks like this originated in South Korea. But shockingly, like many beauty trends, experts are saying don't do this.
Yeah, no, don't do this. It looks so uncomfortable for your ear. And I hate that people think that they need to get this type of stuff done. Mm-hmm. And, it's better to do this than to go under the knife, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But still, I just hate that people feel this way about themselves, that they're like, I have to have a facelift.
Yeah.
My skin on my face isn't tight enough or whatever. And most of the time, it's a lot of this stuff is on TikTok.
Yeah.
And so it's being sent to young girls that are already so beautiful and don't need this. Their faces are great.
I know the people I'm seeing here literally have some of the smoothest skin I've ever seen.
Exactly. They're young.
And it's not because of this beauty hack.
Right. They're young and they do not need this. And so it's just so sad whenever I see these trends.
Yeah. I would just be honestly concerned about cutting off the circulation to my ears.
Good point.
And I feel like this would also, does this not seem like, if wrapping a rubber band around your ears, okay, doesn't that feel like it would make your ears bigger and more dopey? Yeah. Make them just flap out more from your head.
Maybe, I don't know.
And is that worth it?
Yeah.
Even if it did work on your face.
Right. I feel I just feel like there's a lot of dangers involved in putting some type of circulation, canceling a thing, tying something around any part of your body. So it could backfire. But yeah, also to put that amount of weight, I guess, on your ears to try and lift up the rest of your face. Is that good for it either?
I can't imagine that it is.
Because wouldn't that also weaken the muscles in your face? I
don't know enough about that, but I do know that dermatologist Dr. Brooke Jeffy says there is absolutely no basis for this. Wrapping rubber bands or hair ties around your ears is not effective or safe method for depuffing your face. So let's not do it.
Yeah, no.
Let's not. I wasn't going to, but they've convinced me to definitely not do it. Yeah. I understand the appeal just because it seems so simple, such DIY. But if it's that easy, it probably doesn't work.
Yeah.
And in fact, is probably bad for you.
Right.
Luka Doncic was in tears last night. It was his return to Dallas, first time facing the Mavericks, first time playing in Dallas since he was traded away for Anthony Davis and others earlier this season. He was in tears at the beginning of the game because pre-game, the Mavericks worked up a video tribute that they showed in the stadium, which, can we just start with that, Allie?
Yeah.
Why are they doing a video tribute to Luka Doncic?
Because he was a huge part of their franchise for 6.5 years.
And now he's playing for another team. And keep in mind, it's not like I guess even if he also left of his own choice, that would also be weird. What would be a nice tribute to him? Not trading him away. I hate that I don't know why this is a thing in the NBA. I think the NHL has started doing this too. players that are still playing in the league, they come to town on another team. They're your rival. They're coming in trying to beat you. And if they left, it's either most of the time because they decided they didn't want to be there anymore, or because you decided you didn't want him around anymore in this case.
Yeah.
And you're going to video tribute him?
Yeah. I mean, but I think at this point, it would be weird for them not to. It's such a norm that it would be weird if they didn't do anything.
If you want to video tribute him, you do it years from now once he's retired and you're retiring his number.
I mean,
you have a Luka Doncic night. You don't do it when he's on the other team that's coming in to kick your butts, which, by the way, he did. He scored 45 points, which anybody could have predicted because he deserved to get some revenge. He shouldn't be crying. He should be getting revenge. They mistreated him. They scapegoated him. They said he was headed for an untimely demise. They said he was going to hookah himself to death. And then you're going to video tribute him while he's playing for the other team? What are you doing?
I mean,
what kind of Mickey Mouse operation are you?
Again, I do feel like this is just the norm, and they would have been called out if they didn't do anything.
It shouldn't be the norm. It's not just the Mavericks.
But it is. It is.
Have you heard earlier, there was reports earlier this season that Paul George was upset that he hadn't gotten a video tribute from the Pacers yet? I'm sorry, you didn't want to be in Indiana anymore.
Yeah,
Why would they video tribute you?
Yeah, that was a little bit more of a hard feelings leave type of deal. Mm-hmm. But I do remember, I remember when LeBron left for Miami, and I'm pretty sure the Cavs gave him a video tribute when he came back. And that was not a good split, if you remember.
They shouldn't have done that.
Well, they did.
Until he returned.
They did.
And if anything, then in that case, maybe video tribute him to be like, please come back.
Well, it worked.
We're so sad you left. Yeah, it worked on him.
He did come back.
Yeah, I hate the video tributes. I think it's dumb.
I mean, that's fine.
You shouldn't be tributing another player on another team.
You can hate them, but I do think it's good sportsmanship to be like, at the end of the day, we're going to put away competition and realize that you are, a good person and you are a part of our franchise for 6.5 years. And we honor you for that today. Literally, the crowd was chanting Luka as he's beating them.
They want him back. They know he was maligned and mistreated.
Yes, they do definitely want him back. But I just mean like the crowd clearly cares more about Luka than the game in that moment.
Listen, I'm a big Packers fan. Also a big Aaron Rodgers fan. If Aaron Rodgers went to play for the Vikings this year, which apparently is not going to happen, but I don't think the Steelers and Packers face each other, which is probably where he'll wind up. If he comes back to Green Bay and playing for another team, do not video tribute him. He got us a Super Bowl. He won a bunch of MVPs. He can have a video tribute after he retires and comes back and gets his number retired. Until then, he is the enemy in some ways.
The enemy.
And it's particularly egregious when they ran him out of town. Yeah. Luka and Aaron Rodgers. Okay, first to worst. Allie and I each get to choose our first choice in a given topic and the worst choice for a given topic. You decide which of us chose better and where we went wrong. Today's topic is major sporting events to attend. So we're talking like championships, finals, majors. We're not just like regular season games.
Yeah.
These
are big deals.
Big deals. And you said you just want to outlaw either of us picking the Super Bowl, though.
Yeah, I feel like the Super Bowl shouldn't count because
it's kind of a trump card.
It's a big deal all over the world. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I would say that doesn't count.
Okay, I have the first pick. My first pick, and maybe I'm just caught up in the moment, but I am going to take the Masters. I would love to go to the Masters. Beautiful scenery. Same. People rave about the food, the atmosphere, and like I said earlier, with golf. At the end, like you could go to some sporting events and you'd be upset at the outcome at the end. You could have fun the whole time and then leave and be upset the entire car ride home or whatever.
Yeah.
Golf.
It's not like that.
No, there's nobody I cheer against.
Yeah.
And so it'd be like at the end of the day, we'll walk away satisfied.
Yeah. And you can switch who you're following.
Yep.
There's so many golfers going at one time. Here I am pitching for you.
Yeah, you are.
But there's so many golfers going at one time. I've been to plenty of golf tournaments before. And that's what's, to me, the fun part is like, hey, so-and-so's leading right now. Let's switch over and go to hole 4 or wherever and follow them.
So that's my first choice. My worst choice. And I preface this by saying I feel like there's not a horrible choice.
Okay, yeah.
Even if you offer me free tickets to this, I'd probably go, and that is the Indy 500.
Oh.
Loud.
Okay.
Don't really care about what's happening.
Not a NASCAR fan.
It's not even NASCAR, right? It's like Formula. I don't even know who's in it. I don't know.
I don't know actually too. I thought it was NASCAR.
It's actually IndyCar. It's not even Formula One. So
what? Someone explain all of this stuff to us. We don't even know.
Apparently it's big. It's hot there. It's a huge thing, so you can't even see all the action all the time.
Yeah.
And it's loud, and I just don't care. So the Indy 500 is going to be my choice for worst. Allie, go ahead with your first and worst major sporting events to attend it live.
My first is also due to atmosphere, similar to how Augusta National is amazing. I'm going to go with the Rose Bowl.
Okay, that's a cool one.
The Rose Bowl, especially as an Ohio State fan or just even Big Ten, it is probably the premier destination in college football. Location, gorgeous. History, awesome. Some of the best games in college football have been played at that stadium, and I just never get tired of it. I've heard a lot of talk about potentially moving the national championship to the Rose Bowl, and I think that should happen because it would be like a Super Bowl. It'd be like the championship is the Rose Bowl. I'm all in favor of that, and who doesn't love red roses? So I'm going with the Rose Bowl for first. For worst, I don't think this is a worst as far as like, I think there could be exciting moments, but for the most part, you'd probably be pretty bored, and that's the Boston Marathon. It's a marathon, and so it's like, yes, it would be exciting for different moments, but you'd have to move around a lot in the 26 miles that
you'd have to run a marathon yourself.
Yeah, and so I feel like for an event to attend to be exciting and fun, like a regular, sporting event, and running is a little different than, a lot of what we're talking about, but to me, that would be one where I'm like, it's really cool. The history of it is awesome, but I don't think I'd have fun attending the Boston Marathon unless I was actually running it.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if I'd have fun doing that either.
I don't know. Okay, first and worst, who chose better here for the best sporting events to attend live? I'd say the Masters is first and the Indy 500 is worst. Allie, you say
Rose Bowl is first, Boston Marathon is worst.
Let us know where we went right, where we went wrong, and who chose better. We have people getting in at 8772 RadioU letting us know who's right, who's wrong, what did we miss? We heard from Tanner. Tanner says, Allie's totally right.
Thanks, Tanner.
This is Rose Bowl, sunshine, pageantry, college football nostalgia. The Boston Marathon is just people running for 3 hours. That's accurate. D says Allie's choice is best. She says, I would pick the World Series and the Cotton Bowl is the worst.
Oh, so the World Series for best?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I think the World Series would be really fun.
The World Series is awesome. The
only difference is it changes location. And I think that's a key part of why we picked our bests is because the Masters is always at Augusta National. The Rose Bowl is always at the Rose Bowl.
And I would love the World Series, but here's the thing. This is really weighed heavily into my decision is that I could go to the World Series and I would have a rooting interest in one and not the other. I mean, I guess if it's just two teams I don't really care about, but then I'm not as invested.
Yeah.
Whereas, let's say the Yankees are there.
Oh.
And if they win, then
you're sad.
That's the worst. That is the worst. That's the worst choice. But she says the Cotton Bowl is very run down.
Oh.
And she also says in the neighborhood, you're either going to get your car jacked or mugged or something like that.
Oh, no.
Nothing good happens there.
Oh, no.
Okay. Stephanie clarified for the Indy 500. She says the Indy 500 is Memorial Day weekend.
Okay.
Which is IndyCar. The Brickyard 400 is the NASCAR race that is also held at an Indy Motor Speedway, but that's in late July.
Okay. I didn't know that. I'm not as caught up on NASCAR. I used to watch it a long time ago, but it's been many years.
Marcus says both of us are wrong. The best event, Stanley Cup Game 7.
Well, okay, and Game 7 is the best game of all of sport, as Bill Russell would say. But yeah, that's again, it's something where I feel like what we had to go with was something that transcends the sport that's being played. It's a moment. And so, you're not always guaranteed a Game 7 in the championship series of the sports that do play a series, which is basketball and baseball and a few others. But, football doesn't have game 7. They don't do that.
Yeah.
So it's a little different with that. It's harder to pick.
There's something about the game 7s that it's so magical because you had 6 games leading up to it where like these teams know each other well by this point.
Yeah.
And so there's so much tension.
Oh, it's so great.
Yeah.
I remember as a Cavs fan, game 7 in 2016, when they came back from 3-1. But yeah, I agree. Game 7's great. But I think, again, what we picked was awesome because it transcends. I almost picked the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah.
'Cause that's another thing where like the moment itself, the environment kind of transcends what's even happening with the sport.
I thought about the Kentucky Derby for both choices, either best or worst. Because I was like, it's so short. It's like the actual race is so short, but then you get all the other, there's horse races throughout the day.
Yeah, there's so much going on.
But there's so much pageantry and fun with it. So I thought that also I would love to go to the Kentucky Derby, and I don't care about horse racing.
Me either.
Someone without a name just texted in and literally just said, Allie is right.
Thank you.
We also heard from Sean who says, Hudson's got a point. Masters is beauty and tradition, and the Indy 500 is traffic.
Is traffic?
Sounds like I win again.
No.
Well, it's breakfast time for many.
Yeah.
For some, you now have the option to add a little chili to your breakfast.
Okay.
An option that I would gladly participate in. Skyline Chili, an Ohio staple, Cincinnati-style chili restaurant. They are now serving breakfast at a handful of their locations in the Dayton and Cincinnati area.
So what exactly is on the menu for breakfast at Skyline?
That is a great question. What can you get at Skyline for breakfast? I see here a breakfast chilito.
Okay.
So it's a breakfast burrito, which has cheese, Skyline chili, and something else inside that I can't exactly discern. They also have a breakfast coney. I wonder if that's literally like a coney, like a chili coney dog, but with a sausage instead of a hot dog? Or do you think it's just literally they're just serving a hot dog with chili on it for breakfast?
I have a feeling it's probably just a hot dog, but the sausage would be cool.
So, man, I want to actually see, because they have the breakfast way is what it's called, but I don't have a description. What is the breakfast way?
Yeah, what does that even mean?
Because I know listen, chili for breakfast already a little crazy, but I'm here for it. Spaghetti for breakfast, come on.
No.
Frito pie for breakfast, come on.
No.
That's not what we're doing.
No.
You're not going to be a successful restaurant serving that for breakfast. So what are you actually serving?
What are you serving?
And then there's the breakfast burrito and a breakfast chillito. I want to see their menu.
Yeah.
Let me see. But it's not any that are super close to the RadioU studios. So we'd have to go way out of our way to actually be able to try this.
I got to be honest, I'm happy about that.
You don't even want to taste it. Because if this was near us, if this expands, we are doing this.
I don't think I would like chili for breakfast. I feel like that would upset my stomach for the whole day.
I love their chili, though.
I mean, I feel like I probably would be okay, but I don't know. Chili for breakfast just does not sound appealing to me.
Okay, here's a question. Have I ever asked this of you before? What's a restaurant that doesn't serve breakfast that should?
You haven't. I don't think you have asked me that. That should serve breakfast?
Yeah. Let me throw some at you. Arby's, Popeyes, KFC, Pizza Hut.
No. Maybe out of that list, maybe Arby's.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the only one I would want to eat
breakfast
from
roast beef.
Out of those, I mean, I do eat Pizza Hut, but pizza for breakfast doesn't sound very good either.
You never had a good breakfast pizza?
I've definitely had breakfast in the morning or like pizza in the morning, but I don't think I've ever been like, yep, this was the move.
Breakfast pizza and regular pizza, though, like they have very few similarities whatsoever.
Well,
you know what I mean?
An actual breakfast pizza that's like got breakfast scrambled ingredients on it.
Pizza Hut, that would be them serving up a bunch of stuff that they don't, like it's not like it would directly.
Yeah, that would be different.
Popeyes.
I thought you just meant eating pizza in the morning.
I mean, I do that sometimes. Cold pizza.
That's what I was referring to.
I like doing that. Dave says Will Ferrell would love the spaghetti and syrup option.
Oh yeah, good point, Buddy the Elf.
Skyline. But okay, you're gonna hate me because it's Popeyes, but I think Popeyes could be good if they started serving breakfast. Because they already have chicken. Chicken can work for breakfast, a chicken biscuit.
Yeah,
They already have biscuits.
Chick-fil-A does breakfast.
They also could just simply add waffles, and then you have chicken and waffles for breakfast.
That sounds
And I
good.
think Popeyes could really execute that.
I don't know if Popeyes can execute any more than what they already do because they barely execute that.
Well, you would be late for work because they wouldn't get your food to you in any timely manner.
Yeah.
But it would be good once you got it.
They don't need to add any more work to what they already do because they're barely getting by.
If you have a good idea for which restaurant should start serving breakfast that doesn't yet, 877-2-RADIO-U. Also, would you try Skyline Chili Breakfast? If you've ever been, 877-2-RADIO-U. Maybe there's some people that have tried this.
Yeah.
Apparently,
let us know.
There's one location that has served Skyline Breakfast for a long time, and now they just added it to like almost a dozen more.
Okay.
So it seems, I guess it's going well.
It's ramping up.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening to the RadioU podcast. Don't forget to rate and review the show.